Is there a creep called Haley? I feel like I should know that.
Or is it Debbie?
Debbie.
Or is it Riley?
No, it's Riley
It's
or
Riley. It's
Riley. Or
Riley.
Debbie. Yeah.
I keep calling that creep Haley.
No, not Haley.
Sorry. Watching too much Modern Family lately.
Yes, and so action slacks. Getting pretty intense there with fist bump. Yes.
Okay.
People having fun.
That is
We're
incredibly
gonna get
cute.
ready. So yeah. So action slacks now changes his name. He doesn't want to be Fosh.
So Sir Action Slack is a really, really nice guy. Just gotta throw it out there. You might be used to his manner in Dota 2 where I've heard a few people say that he comes off as a bit of an asshole. He comes off as someone who is a bit abrasive, but it couldn't be further from the truth. He's a teddy bear. He's the loveliest guy. And if you take his antics as just humorous and lighthearted, you'll see that he is not in any stretch of the imagination abrasive or an asshole at all. So keep that in mind. And you can see just by his antics there, he's just playing around with them. You can see all the games that he played at PAX. He played to let the challengers have more of a chance than they actually did. He does stuff to mess around, you know? And that's the kind of person he is.
Wants to be back green deck.
Okay.
All right. So Haley's actually pretty cute. Anyway, so Slacks has gone for, well, Debbie's boyfriend, sorry. Debbie is one of the heroes in the game, has gone for the black-green deck. Now, this deck is all about getting a lot of money, kind of controlling the board, controlling the tempo until you get a big play, a big finishing move with one of the convoys. The convoy, what it does is half your current gold it'll do in damage. So if you got 100 gold, it's going to do 50 damage. And getting 100 gold isn't that hard. When I played the black-green deck, like I've mentioned in other videos, I got 240 gold in one turn. And if you can do the math, that's 120 damage on the convoy. And I hit the 80 health ancient for 120 damage. So the black-green deck has the potential to just destroy you in one turn. Conversely, it can also get some really powerful items and finish you by putting that on a Rix. Rix, for example, is great with really powerful items like the Aphosius' Blade, I can't pronounce it properly, because he can just rapidly deploy in a lane in front of another hero, kill it, kill a tower's improvements, kill all the items on that hero, die, and then go to another lane and do the same thing. Now, the Challenger is playing the Armor Up deck. He's got these big, bulky heroes like Axe, controls the battlefield with Duel, with Berserker's Call, with Prowler Vanguards, making creeps very strong, making your heroes even stronger. It's all about keeping those individual heroes alive and keeping your creeps topped up, healthy, and chipping away at the lane, winning the lane. And its weakness is when it's removed, when the heroes are removed, when the creeps are removed, because there isn't much the deck can do once its heroes are gone. So the Challenger really needs to make sure she starts putting pressure on early, because this deck, once left to ramp, once the ramp deck ramps, Debbie's boyfriend's going to get out of control and it's going to need a restraining order, because I think Slacks is flirting already.
And yeah, Slacks is happy because he got Debbie.
Yes.
That's all that matters to him.
Slacks is also happy because he has a turn 1 Miss of Avernus. This is probably
that's so good.
one of the best start that you could possibly have with this deck.
Now, you know what's better than one Mist of Avernus?
Okay.
Two Mist of Avernus.
Okay.
So Mist of Avernus, what that does is it improves the lane. It gives that lane, at the start of every round, the start of that lane, every single unit, including hero, is given a permanent 1 attack boost. And that really starts to add up. So if Slacks is smart, he's going to throw that over into the third lane, because otherwise that Pugner, with the Pugner ability, can destroy lane improvements. So he doesn't want that Pugner to destroy it. Keep in mind the Pugner won't be able to do that for 4 rounds, but still, throwing that over into the second lane is probably where he wants it. Or third lane, sorry, is probably where he wants it. And he wants to do that early because it starts adding up. really starts adding up. Actually, even putting it on the Rix is good because Rix can just rapidly deploy and 3 attack isn't that great. But putting it into this lane means that he missed 1 round of that proccing. And that might be something he considers.
Now, we can't all be dreamers.
There's nothing the challenger can do.
But you know who can be a dreamer? Farbrand the Dreamer.
Okay.
And so he chooses to go the second. He's got to make sure he kills that Pugna before Pugna can destroy that improvement. But still, it's not the wrong play. He hasn't made the wrong play there.
All right, so miss down the stream, so these guys will get the bonus immediately. With that said, he did put it into the Pugna lane, but Pugna won't have access to his Nether Blast until, well, exactly 3 turns.
3 rounds.
Yep. So
Now, because the challenger has that red hero, she can put the Mercenary Exile down. If she wants to do that, I don't think so. This might be a lane where you say, okay, I might not win it. I don't see myself doing much. So you wouldn't put that down. However, what she can do now is what she definitely should, is do that Poise to Strike on the Pugna, because that will give that extra 4 damage, that Lycan will disappear, and suddenly that Mist of Avernus is not so great. Which is exactly why Slax probably should have done the Mist of Avernus in the 3rd lane. But that is hindsight. That is hindsight. So he didn't make the wrong move.
oh, that's going to be a lot of impact. And again, like when you have that on the Lycan, Lycan buffs your creeps, but his 4 attack is not too impressive.
Yeah.
I always feel like Lycan is great, but being in front of the Lycan is not that scary.
Yes.
Every time you get Lycan some attack, then like actually he becomes a real hero. And with the Poise to Strike, he kills the Lycan, and most importantly, stops the Mist of Avernus from being really impactful. Like, not only do you want the Mist of Avernus there, you want the Mist of Avernus to survive.
And keep stacking.
The hero.
So the challenger made a great play. She's off to a good start. Unfortunately for her, the second creep didn't spawn to the left of Lycan, which would have been fantastic. I don't know if there's chance to do that, though. I think the hero spawned in first in the creep. No, there is a chance to do that. There is. So that would have been the best situation for her, because then she'd also... actually, no, I'm wrong. I'm wrong here. If that happened, she would be facing down the Templar Assassin. The Lycan would be facing down the Templar Assassin. So this was the best situation for her, actually. The best outcome. Because that Templar Assassin, with her efficient killer skill, would be doing 10 damage to the Lycan. Lycan would be dead.
In that lane to survive.
Perfect.
So that you get the
She actually got lucky. My bad.
Mist of Avernus stack. And now he's Lycan hitting the tower 4-4, and PA just killing a creep.
So if you are the challenger, you want to consider getting some items early, because this ramp deck will outpace you if you don't start making some plays. So in this case, she can pick up the leather armor and I think all the fountain flasks. But in this case, she hasn't taken any damage on the key target yet. So getting that leather armor is probably the way to go. It does provide a way to stall, which I've talked about before, and stalling is very powerful.
Pretty good start here for Riley.
And she gets the flask.
I like the early purchase of...
Not the wrong move. I mean, she can keep that Pugna alive and then eventually take down the Mist of Avernus. Not the worst play, but I mean, at the same token, putting a piece of armor on the Pugna would have been almost the same effect.
Fountain Flask, especially for this deck. I feel like for this particular deck, you want to make sure that your green heroes are...
Now, where does she put her hero? In this case, you've got to, if you're Slax, you've got to control the board and get to late game. So putting Debbie in the first lane probably wasn't the right idea, because you cannot kill that Axe. There is no way that Debbie's going to kill Axe. That Debbie is going to probably die if he gets the wrong roll there. So if I was Slax, I would say that first lane I just can't do anything with. Where do I put my hero? I put it in the second, because there's a high chance I'm facing off against that Pugna. And even if the Pugna was to heal, that Debbie can kill that Pugna. And it's almost 100% sure that it would be facing off against the Pugna. So that is the only play for Debbie's boyfriend there. Now, where do you put it if you're the challenger? Where do you put the green hero? You put it in the second lane. You ready the green hero in the third. And you don't want it to be facing off against the Templar Assassin. You don't want the Prowler to kill the Rix. It wouldn't kill it, but it's not really needed there. You want to secure the second lane because that's where the fight should really go down because he has that improvement there. So the key area right now is the middle lane because you've got to consider that the third lane you can always come back from. The first lane you've kind of won because Axe is situated there. So the second lane is where you should focus your attention. Let's see what she does.
And hidden because like your green heroes are amazing. Like you want to keep them alive, like you mentioned. Farvan the Dreamer.
So
stacking that armor.
Farvan the Dreamer, Debbie the Cunning, Keith the Bold, and Jamui the Wise.
Yes.
Who's your favorite?
I'm a wise person.
You're a wise person? You like Jamui?
Yeah. I'm not a wise person, but I identify with
you identify yourself.
All right. So because she put that, because she put her here in the first lane, it kind of messed her up a little bit. Axe would have taken out that wimpy 5 health Debbie. I've been calling it Riley. I have been calling it Riley in the last few videos. I'm really sorry, guys, if you've watched the last few and like, why are you calling it Riley? It's not Riley. Whatever her name is, she's only got 5 health and Axe would have killed her. And it would have been a 50% chance to be right in front of Axe. And that would have been the better play, I think. But I don't blame the challenger here. That means that the Prowler Vanguard can come down right in front of the Rix. That means Rix is stuck there because Rix is facing off someone that's not doing damage. It means that it can't use the rapid deployment to go into a lane that's better suited for Slacks. And it also gives 1 armor to Axe and 1 armor to the Prowler, and that's quite good. That is a really good play. So that would be what I want the challenger to do. Now, Salameme's favor is the best play for Slacks. Put it into the middle lane and start doing some work. Put it into even in the last lane, but just use that Salameme's favor and set up for a better turn.
As a wise person.
The blue color of this.
Actually,
game, so.
Pick off is going to be used.
Pick off. That's a nice pick off.
That was a good play as well. Definitely was a good play as well. I didn't see how much health. Didn't see how much health the Pugna had, but with 4, the pick off can do 4 damage to any lane. Another great play. I think he would have been able to. No, he wouldn't have been able to do it but he would have been able to do it from the third lane if he needed to. The Pugna wasn't that much of a problem. Only 5, representing 5 damage. I guess he really wants to commit to the second lane. And I see the reasoning behind both plays, but I personally would have done the Salameme's favor and set up for a better turn in the lanes that I wanted to win.
Okay. Is he done?
It's a free kill there. And yeah, getting those kills ahead is pretty impactful because the heroes are gone for essentially 2 turns.
Yep.
They won't be able to do anything this turn. They won't be able to do anything next turn.
Challenger's doing really well compared to the other games I've analyzed. Usually they do the opposite of what I say. But that was the best play. You know, the hero's taking less damage. The Axe is taking no damage. Axe almost never takes damage. And then there's a Fountain Flask if she wants to heal that guy up again. And this lane is looking pretty good for her. So don't have to worry. She doesn't have to worry too much or commit too much to this lane.
Haley replies with the 018 Goat.
The White Knight, as I call it.
The White Knight?
Yeah. Just blocking all the haters, you know? Armor for my lady, left and right.
Now that's a dead lane for both players, obviously. There's nothing there now. But keep in mind, 2 heroes are spawning for Debbie's boyfriend. You got the Lycan and you got the Chen. So there's definitely going to be a potential of a green hero going in that lane. And then you got to think about Refdor convoys coming out. Then you got to think about paydays and just your tower being hit really hard. So it's being set up to potentially being a problem. And you've only got a Legion Commander coming out. So what do you do if you're the challenger in this case? In this case, you can put down a Prowler Vanguard or a Smeevil Blacksmith in this lane and try to ensure that you win it. There's an option for the no accident to hit the creep and to save your Phantom Assassin if you're if you're Slacks right now. And that's what I would want to do. Though the tempting nature of the Ironfall Gold Mine and then really pushing hard in the second lane with the Reftal Convoy is definitely an option, but we'll have to see. Maybe letting the Phantom Assassin die in this lane, and then so you can push hard the first and second is the way to go. But you really need to, if you're Slacks now, really need to control the board and make sure that damage doesn't come through. And if you're the challenger, you need to pick those two lanes that you really want to commit to, and you need to start committing to them.
Yeah, so, no, I don't know. To me, it's the GOAT. That's the thing.
Okay, the GOAT, that's
Gold Mine
fine.
comes out?
There was Suraction Slacks had a deck called the Derpy Dozen.
Yes.
I had 3 Farvan Dreamers.
A lot of goats in that one.
9 goats. So it was like Derpy Dozen. The 12 goats, always there to block.
Okay. We're going to deploy the Smeevil. Going to give Lycan that extra bit of tankiness.
All right,
And
so
the PA just dying to 2 creep attacks.
all right, so in this case, if you're the challenger, you say first and third lane are my babies. What she's going to do is going to commit hard to those 2 lanes. She's got it sorted. If Slacks used the pick off on the creep and the Phantom Assassin was still alive, then the Lycan would be looking at taking 10 damage next round, and then it wouldn't be a sure thing. But because she's won that lane, Slacks will most definitely put something into the second. You've got to say, okay, I've just let that go. Let that lane go. Throw my Legion Commander into the third lane and win those 2 lanes and therefore win the game. Slacks, you're having 2 heroes come out. In his mind, the best player right now would be to win the first and in the second. So what he needs to do is throw, it's a hard one to know which hero to put where, because that axe does a lot of damage. So we'll have to wait and see. But the main fight will happen in the first lane. So I really wish he played that Salameme's favor. But anyway, let's see what happens. Let's see what they get in the shopping phase.
The aura
Lycan.
from Lycan.
Like, yeah, as I said, he's a role player. He's the Scottie Pippen of the team.
Yeah.
He makes you better by existing. He's a Manu Ginobili.
So she did the right thing and bought the town portal scroll there. That means she can get out, move her heroes around to where they need to be. Perfect. But what we see the Blink Dagger coming out for Slacks, and the Blink Dagger means that suddenly he's got options. He has options here. So it's going to be a case of him being more reactive now than proactive. So he's going to wait to see what the challenger does, put that Blink Dagger on and win late rather than win early. The challenger's on the clock. Challenger needs to start pushing down those 2 lanes. So I'm not sure why Slacks is abandoning the first, but maybe he thinks that third lane is where he should place a defense. Let's
Always
see
the
what
unsung
happens.
hero.
Yep.
Oh, the 2. This actually worked out really well for Slacks because the 2 creeps spawned in the first lane. So what Slacks is going to do now is going to say, okay, well, I've got a bit of a wall there now. I'm going to put Lycan over into the third lane. And I'm going to really control the board. I'm going wide. I'm controlling the board. And I'm going to get to that late game where I can put down the convoy and finish it fairly easily. So the challenger doesn't know what's happening yet. Let's see how she responds. Typically, though, I would have liked to see that Legion Commander over into the third lane.
Shout out to Manu. He retired.
He retired recently, right?
Yeah, yeah. Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
So yeah, we get the deploys. 3 of the 4 creeps actually decide to go to the first lane, so that's going to be a kerfuffle.
Okay.
I like that word, kerfuffle. You ever use the word kerfuffle?
No, I don't even know what it means.
It's like a fisticuffs.
So that's worked out really well for the challenger here because Chen is facing down the Legion Commander. Is going to take that 2 from Retaliate, going to take the 6 from her attack damage, and then she's going to take the 2 from that creep that got the 25% chance roll to hit the Chen. So that is enough damage to kill the Chen. Unfortunately, that's 10 damage. So the Chen, if that Blink Dagger comes out, would be the best target. If yeah, I don't think nothing can kill the Chen before the Blink Dagger can get off. So ideally, Slax will wait to see what happens in the first lane. Then the Blink Dagger would probably be the best on Chen and get it to the lane that you're probably going to win. So let's see what happens. Challenger through the Legion Command into the second. Don't know if that was the best choice. I know she got lucky and it's facing down the Chen, but in the third lane, she could guarantee more damage in the tower. More damage in the tower means that is threatening, really threatening for Slax. And right now, what she needs to do is start to put some pressure on. But we see the pressure in the first lane. That's where the main fight's going to happen. So what happens in the first lane is going to dictate what happens for the rest of the game.
Like a brawl.
So it depends on what they draw.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
All right, so Blink Dagger has been purchased by Debbie Boyfriend, which is going to allow him to move, I imagine, Debbie around. But also there's 2 Slaying Mayonnaise favor in hand, so this can be a very explosive turn for Debbie Boyfriend.
Yep. Celebrating favor ahead. Just, yeah, trying to...
So he's going to commit to the second lane, and that's fair enough because he does have that other improvement there. That also protects his Mist of Avernus, because if Pugna comes down and does his active ability, it will kill a random improvement. It means that 50% chance this Salamandre's favor will be removed instead of the Mist of Avernus. Also, that is using the Salamandre's favor in the first lane is great because there isn't much he can do to stop the Debbie from dying. It's taking out the Prowler as well. Right now, he's in the best position he can be in this lane. Unfortunately, the Rix is stuck here, but fortunately, he's not taking any damage.
Get more mana in the other lanes and get ahead and get that control. I have to say something, that even though the ramp has showed up, that Payday is not being really useful because it's really hard to kill those like red and green decks. So not getting enough gold to make that Payday worth it. But he does find the Blink Dagger, which is a really powerful card. And one that does not come with the deck. He found it in the secret shop.
So the Challenger realized the value of this lane, and she's played really well so far. By putting the Wolf in that position, it was either going to hit the hero or it was either going to hit straight ahead. In this case, it did well and hit straight ahead. And that's going to continue the ramp, and that will mean that she has won this lane. She's only going to worry about the Rix now. Rix doesn't do that much damage. Prowler is going to survive 3 more turns with this Rix facing it down. It doesn't do any damage to the tower anyway, so all it's doing is blocking that Rix from hitting her own tower. And she essentially has won that lane in this move. So what Slax needs to do now is he needs to really commit to the other lanes.
So we'll be able to use it as an element of surprise.
Yes.
Against Haley from Seattle.
To be fair, Debbie Boyfriend...
What he could do is apply the Blink Dagger to Rix and then force the Rix out. But Rix already has rapid deployment, so it seems like a waste to place a Blink Dagger on a Rix. You always feel bad when you need to do that.
Did actually have like 13 or 14 gold before this, but he found it more prudent to buy the Blink Dagger, which I don't blame him. It's definitely a very... When you have a Blink in your hand, you just feel safer, much safer.
Yes.
It's a good backup tool.
It makes it easier. It doesn't leave heroes stranded. You don't need to find a TP.
Yep.
So yeah, killing Debbie's boyfriend, killing Debbie. No, sorry. Debbie's boyfriend's getting Debbie killed.
Forsaking Debbie as she dies.
Now, there's a lot of things that Slax can do here. One, he can Blink Dagger the Chen out, but he wants to commit to this lane. So the other side is he can play the Revdol Convoy against that creep. If he does so, that keeps the Chen alive. He doesn't know that there's poised to strike there. And there could also be a duel. There could be a lot of things. It would be great if he could play the Truth to Power, which stops anything being played by the Challenger. But then he doesn't have any mana to play anything else. So it's a difficult situation for Slax here. And he doesn't realize it's difficult yet. One other play is playing the Savage Wolf. That will mean he has enough for a no accident, if needed. However, that won't do anything. in this lane. They won't do anything. They will stop the lethal coming out, but then the Wolf will start to ramp, will get the damage from the Mist of Avernus, so it could be the better play for him, but then the Challenger will just take it away with Poised to Strike, so.
Yes.
Could have rescued her, but, you know.
Decides to save her for later. And
Okay.
here again, Chen being a sacrificial lamb, taking 10 damage.
Okay, but the Wolf is going to come down and block. For now, that is.
Nether Ward, which was fantastic against that blue-black deck, not as powerful of a card in this matchup.
There are some number of spells here in this deck as well, but I do believe the blue-black deck has way more.
Yes, and
The Challenger got real lucky with that Mercenary Exile there. Doesn't even need to use Poised to Strike now. That has saved her a card. But then she has an answer if Slacks has an answer. So she's gotten really lucky and done some really good plays. So in this case, putting down the Exile first means that she's looking to see how Slacks responds. Another play could have been to use the Traveler's Cloak to delay, but knowing that she wants to commit to this lane, or in her mind that she wants to commit a bit to this lane, putting down that Mercenary Exile is pretty good.
now with the arrow,
There's
that
a
is
blink dagger.
another more pressure coming into the Chen, and now
Chen's
it's the
gonna
time
ditch.
to get the blink dagger. Yeah, Chen is like, you know what?
Chen's
I'm
like getting out of there.
And blinking right now is an interesting tactic if he decides to do it, because the blink will be ready by the time that his cooldown, Holy Frustration, is ready as well.
Okay.
Mm.
He's a mobile Grand Theft Auto creep.
So that is a good point that he raises, that Bruno raises, is that the Chen, his ability, Holy Persuasion, will be up at the same time as the blink. So that means he can blink and take a big creep. And we know that the red-green deck has those Ogre conscripts, and they're the best target to take. If you take that, you've taken away 6 power from the board, 6 armor, and 6 health, and you've given yourself 6 attack, 6 armor, and 2 armor and 6 health. Amazing ability. And Chen having that blink dagger, like I said, was one of the better choices. But I didn't even realize the Holy Persuasion combo, and that's going to work out really well for him. Now, what does he do in this lane? He puts down that Convoy. I think that's the play. Or he can put Salameme's Favor into the middle lane. That's another option. Truth to Power, I wouldn't recommend, because the only thing you got to worry about from the Lycan is a Wolf coming out, or another type of minion like the Prowler Vanguard. So I wouldn't worry too much about using a Silence. So it's either the Salameme's Favor or Rift of Convoy we'll probably see coming out here. Putting down the Prowler from the Challenger is a great move. It means a little bit extra armor for the Lycan. He takes a little bit less damage, but letting this lane go might be the play. And I would seriously consider taking this Lycan out and putting it into the second lane, because I know that you can't spread your resources thin. You know that Pugna's coming out next turn, popping Pugna into the second lane, as well as the Lycan, would guarantee you get the first and the second lane. Almost guarantee it, because you're looking at 22 and 27 health respectively. You've got the advantage knowing only Templar Assassin is coming out next turn. 2 green heroes are committed to the left lane, and you're only going to worry about 2 rounds until the Blink Dagger comes out. Start doing the damage. I think that's the way to go. That is the play.
Grand Theft Creep.
Grand Theft Creep.
Yeah.
And against this deck that has a lot of really powerful juicy creeps,
Yeah.
Chen becomes a really powerful tool.
I mean, we see one in hand right now, Ogre Conscript.
There's even bigger than that as well, with the Thunderhide Alpha.
Okay.
14-14.
All right.
A lot of mana now available in the next turn. So this is a weaker turn than I imagined.
All right. So both players did something I would. Well, the Challenger did the one of the 2 things I would have done. Putting the Prowler Vanguard, I probably would not have, but it's fine. It's the only move she had. If I had time to think about it and I was sitting there in her position, I probably would have used the TP and put it into the second lane. But putting that down, she's looking at a dead Lycan next turn, but at least she's got a body there. Now, putting the Salameme's Favor in the last lane, I'm not too sure about that. What is he expecting to do with that 8 mana next round. I mean, he doesn't have any cards that can do anything there. I think the better play would have been to put the convoy down and commit to this lane. Honestly, that would have been the better play. But anyway, it doesn't matter. He's saving that for his combo piece. He's saving until he has a lot of gold. But as of right now, he just doesn't have it. And he's not getting it. And playing a payday only gets him up to 10.
For Debbie Boyfriend, but he's really looking to set up for the
If you're the challenger, you pick up an item here.
future here.
Yes. The thing that he has to be careful about is that he is taking a lot of chip damage into his towers.
Yes.
I can't say that Haley is actually winning this game like decisively, but because constantly there's some damage pressure. Like look at that, 22 and 20 and 27.
Yeah.
It's unclear which lane she wants to go on. Even the lane that has 27 health is the lane that she's actually applying the most pressure to.
Sure.
So she will be in a position where Slacks, Debbie Boyfriend, won't be able to know which lane he needs to defend.
Yeah.
Probably decides to commit that
That's interesting.
Phantom Assassin to the middle lane because there's no heroes there and he wants to cast some spells. But with no coup de grace in his... by the way, the internet told me today it's coup de grace.
Coup de grace.
Yes, not coup de grace.
I'm not calling it coup de grace.
Okay.
So thank you, internet.
I think coup de grace means like something fat. It doesn't mean what it's meant to mean. But anyway, she committed it to the other lane. There wasn't a clear... You definitely don't want to commit it to the first. I would have committed to the second, honestly. But I mean, we'll see what happens. Now it's unfortunate that her axe is not facing down the tower. But she did get a lot of luck with arrows before. So picking up the 2 leather armors was great. She was hoping for a better item to spawn. But any of the 2 is fine. She got the Temple Scroll. She got the flask. She can start applying that pressure. And no accident will not be enough, I believe, to take out the Prowler. And she won't need to Fountain Flask, but in her mind, maybe there's a 4 damage spell in Debbie Boyfriend's hand. There's the 4 mana, what's it called? Pick off, I think it is. That can take her out, so it might be the better play not seeing Slacks' hand to heal that hero up.
I actually had it wrong.
Okay. You learn something new every day.
Yeah, that's what the internet was created for, I think. The Thunderhide pack shows up, and that Thunderhide pack will be able to show up in the lane 2 or 3.
Wow, this is the first person that's actually listening to me. Sort of.
If Debbie Boyfriend so decides.
Psychically connected, I think.
Here, on the other hand, we can see maybe a Bronze Legionnaire, maybe a big Ogre Conscript, and here he comes.
So she goes the Ogre Conscript, and this is a lane now that has high priority for the Chen to blink in and instantly take one of those creeps. Taking that Ogre Conscript was going to flip the lane completely. He is taking 15 damage this round, and another 15 will be lethal on the tower. So he would want to do that only if he's worried about that 80 damage coming out, which I doubt she'll be able to do. So now, if I was, well, I definitely would not put the Revel Convoy in there. I would probably pass the initiative right now and go first in the second lane if I was Slacks.
Like he's so heavy when he falls. Oh, boom. Shows up there, says some mean things.
Oh, no Reptile Convoy to be casted here to block. So I think with that lack of play on that lane, I think Debbie Boyfriend has committed to giving up that lane. There's no coming back here. Coup de grace is going to come out.
Choose the power gun. That's actually.
And that's why you want initiative, because he can immediately take away the challenger's ability to do anything to protect this lane. Now, the wolf survives, gets 2 extra health, so the wolf will be on 6-3 after this. The Phantom Assassin survives on 7-6. The creep survives. When it comes back around, that Mist of Avernus is going to be annoying. This is why I think she should have committed the Pugna to this lane, could use Pugna's ability to get rid of one of those improvements. And you'd be hoping for the Mist of Avernus. But right now, she just has to sit back and take it. Take it. I was going to say bend over and take it, but because there's a girl playing, I probably shouldn't.
Best card that you could have hoped for.
Probably one of the worst card in Debbie Boyfriend's deck.
Yes. And it comes from Debbie.
Yeah.
And Slack's got really lucky to lose that silence card. That card is useless. But anyway, both players getting a bit lucky this round.
Another Thunder High pack coming up with that Potion of Knowledge that makes it 2. So Debbie Boyfriend being able to maybe start applying pressure in some of these lanes. However, because of the blockers, it's not going to be immediate.
But wait, if Debbie uses Nether Blast right now and it gets the 50-50 at killing the Salamani's favor, that would take away 2 mana for Thunderpack.
So the challenger thinks about a Thunder Pack coming out. She can play the Nether Ward, but that is some high level play. Like right now, you wouldn't be thinking 8 mana Thunder Pack. You might be thinking, what can I do to keep my Lycan alive? So she might be thinking, oh, what do I do here? Do I take the Lycan away with the Town Portal Scroll? Do I put down a Bronze Legionnaire to put some pressure on that tower? But we'll see. If she's got the foresight to think about that 50-50. But at the end of the day, you don't want to bank everything on the 50-50. But using that now, using that Nether Ward now, is a good way to delay your turn and see what your opponent does. So in almost every case, using that Nether Ward now, it would be the best play. 100%. But we'll see what the challenger does.
Yes. Let it rip, Steffi.
Only if she uses Nether Blast right now.
So the commentators are screaming it out, hoping she'll hear. So hopefully she does.
Nether Blast right now. No, not the Nether Ward. Nether Blast on Pugna's active. Oh. Okay. Good
You didn't
idea.
hear.
Yes.
But here comes Big Daddy Pack.
She can still use Nether Blast, the ability from Pugna, to destroy maybe the Ironfall Goldmine or the
1 mana.
Semene's favor to stop. There we
Okay,
go.
so she wouldn't have hit anyway, so
Right,
you know,
yeah.
It's fine, it's fine.
Yeah, that's how randomness works. It was
Yes, exactly how randomness works.
Yeah, there's no randomness in this world. Everything.
So if we consider that it would have gone the same target, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. So that 6 siege damage is going to come out every turn. This lane might be difficult for her, and honestly, I think if she committed the Pugna to the second lane, she'd be in a better position right now. But she's, based on how she's played, you know, you can't say what was going through her mind, and it might be strategy I just cannot foresee right now. And she has options. She does have options to try to keep this lane alive, but I really think she should commit to the first and second now. She should let this lane go, even though that Chen can blink dagger into a lane and steal a high priority target. But I don't see her doing much against this now because there is very little she can do against the Thunderhide pack. She can potentially put down a Grand Melee eventually, but that's going to just be a double-edged sword because that Chen's hitting for 9. Then she's got the poise to strike if she really wants to take out this Chen, and that might be the play. Honestly, I don't think he can save it. No, he can't. No accident's not enough to kill the Lycan, so poise to strike on the Lycan would be the best play, and let's see if she does it.
I think it's predetermined.
Okay, so now this presents a very interesting wrinkle. You lose the Lycan here.
Uh-huh.
Do you just say, look, I'm out. I'm going to port him out and concentrate somewhere else, or do you continue to fight?
She does port him out.
You port him out, and then you put a Bronze Legionnaire there to block the Chen.
Yeah, good play. Good play if she does it. She does.
That's exactly that. Precisely what she does.
Very good. Very good. Now, porting him out means that she can put it in the second lane, commit to the second lane. But I guess that was what I would have done first. That was my first idea. But thinking on it now and adapting to what he did, I think actually killing the Chen would have been the better option. Put the Poise to Strike on. If Chen gets extra health, he saves it with extra health, then I know he can't do that, but you don't know because you're not seeing his hand. If he saves it, then you TP the Lycan out. Because right now, the Chen can blink dagger into a lane that he needs to be in. And then that's going to cause you problems. So, realistically, you got to worry about the Chen regardless. So might have been better to keep him out of the fight for another 2 rounds. But doesn't matter. Let's see what happens.
Pretty good big hit here for Sir Action Slack. And this is where that Blink Dagger from Chen comes in.
Yes.
Yeah,
Another
he
town portal,
doesn't
good-
need a
good
Chen there
pickup.
anymore. He could now start moving heroes around.
Yep.
Does he? I mean, he might want to keep the Chen there just because of the fear of that big creep, like big ogre conscript showing up.
Sure, that's fair.
And just making sure that there's no, you know, nothing really scary there that can.
And this is what they both needed to do. The fight is going down the mid lane. You need to secure the mid lane. The challenger has won the first. That's one. He can't do anything to stop that. 5 damage, 5 health is not going to stop it. I mean, unless he had some miracle card in his hand. Unless he had a coup de grace, whatever it's called. He wouldn't be able to stop this coming out. Then you have the mid lane. Both are fighting for that. The third lane, you have to think the Sir Action Slacks, the champion, is going to win that because you can't do anything about the Thunderhide pack if you're a red-green deck. So you got to give up. That lane is gone. You got to TP scroll your Pugner out, put it into that middle lane. Actually, should have done that before, I think. But that's hindsight. Putting this Lycan in the mid lane is the right place. What she's got to do, there's no other hero in there. You've got to do something. Put that leather armor on it if you need to. Hopefully she draws some green spells. That will keep her alive. But the Thunderhide pack is in the hand, and that is where it's going to go. It's going to go in the third lane, and that is just going to be secured. There is the option to TP the Chen into the second lane, and then the following round use that Thunderhide. That is an option as well. But as of right now, 11 gold. Maybe the payday comes out, and then that Reftal Convoy is hitting that tower for lethal the following round if it comes out in the second lane. So we'll see what happens here. Lots of options for both parties, but it all depends on what they
Down
draw.
the tower because his middle lane is looking pretty damn fine right now.
Okay. Debbie also joins that mid lane. Unfortunately, Haley, what have I been calling? Riley? Haley?
No, Haley is the
Yes.
challenger.
And then
Riley or Debbie
is the extra hero.
Yes.
Thank you for the correction.
This is amazing for the challenger. She got the jewel. Jewel is what she was looking for. Now that she's got the jewel, she needs initiative in the third lane. And if she uses that jewel on the Pugner and on the Chen, she's eliminated the Chen's ability to get out of that lane and get into the middle. That is what I would do, and that is what I hope she does. Now, this lane is one. She should just pass the turn. Initiative is going to be with the champion in the second lane. Sir Action Slacks is going to, and if I was Sir Action Slacks, I would just pass. That's what he should do. There it is.
I think this is a great time to teleport Squirrel, one of the heroes, out.
Okay.
No.
And I'm gonna say that is a terrible duel for or
That is
challenger hero.
not the greatest duel I've seen.
Yes.
How?
There's a multitude of reasons why that's a bad duel. One, he wants to be out of that lane. Look at his face. He's just like, oh, that was a great duel for me. That was a great duel. Am I doing a good Slacks? No, probably not. But now she had the tower already. She didn't need to get rid of that. Now she doesn't have the duel for the third lane, which would have been brilliant, which would have been great. Now she can't do anything in that third lane. I don't know what she can do. She can get her Pugner out, but she needs to get the Pugner out. She needs to put in the second. That's the only thing she can do. Then she needs to put the Legion and the Pugner into the second, because that second is where it's going down. She has lost the third. That is the only play.
However, had he not played that duel, the Reptile combo could have blocked 7
Something.
damage.
Sure, sure. And I'm gonna go through the line of reasoning why I don't think that was a great duel. This lane is already won by our challenger.
Yep.
And Rix is stranded here for a turn or two.
Yep.
With Rix's rapid deployment, now Rix could help out on the mid lane next turn instead. And Duo actually just gave her a ticket home, essentially.
Exactly.
You know what? With the game, look at the towers. The towers of Haley are really
Steam
healthy
great.
right now.
Yes.
Really healthy.
So you think we're gonna see an 80 damage victory on the left side? Is
We
that what you're
could
suggesting?
see that just because there's a Savage Wolf there.
Okay.
Now, what I would have done is I would have put the leather armor on the Lycan and delayed a turn. And then the steam cannon would have come out, killed that creep in front of the Debbie, which you got to expect is happening. And then I would have put the blacksmith opposite the Debbie because you're blocking 10 instead of 8 damage, and blocking that damage is really valuable.
Team Cannon opening it up for Debbie to work that knife.
So she should have done that first.
Work the knife. Yeah, and again, like, we see all these plays, and Seduction Slacks has a lot of power in the board and in his hands.
Get that out of
So
there.
far,
Get
he
that
has
out of
not
there.
threatened anything really.
If you're Suraction Slacks, you got initiative. That's perfect for you because you don't know if she's got a jewel in her hand. She just picked up another card she hasn't played yet. You don't know what it is. So in this case, get that Chen, the F out of the A, right? Put that into the second lane because you don't really need to worry about this lane, right? This lane is good. You've got this. You've got another Thunderhide pack you can put down here. So get that Chen out of there and then secure the second lane. So let's see what he does.
really that much.
With this deck though, the damage comes fast and hard. So
Yes, and this Holy Persuasion actually right now, it's pretty fantastic.
do you think he'll use it here, or he will blink and use it in a different lane?
Don't
I
use it
think
here.
you use it here, and then you add 14 damage straight up.
Okay.
Okay, he chooses to go with the wolf.
For 14 damage.
Fair enough.
He might feel that it's better to save it for a different lane instead. I think dropping both of these creeps,
Now this is great because right now with that you
get
threat
lethal.
lethal.
Yeah.
and then you make this game pretty easy. It's all about that middle lane.
Okay.
Hop.
Oh,
That is
okay.
40 in one turn.
He's going for
Hoping the
lethal
damage
this
comes
round.
hard and fast. This is exactly what we meant.
There we go. Yeah, from hero to zero.
So now after this,
Okay, all right. So his line of reasoning was, I want to get this down fast and then it's down, right? Fair enough. That's a good play. But I think the better play would have been to start setting up for winning in the second lane. Now, we can't say what's right or wrong because we can't play out both scenarios here. And you can't see what's in each other's hands. But right now, the only play for the challenger is to take that Pugner out because you have lost this lane. You've lost it. You're on a 2-turn clock anyway. You're going to lose your Pugner anyway. So the best play is to get that out, take the 40 damage, hope some creeps spawn there and delay an extra turn because with 40 damage coming out every round, with 80 health on the thing, you've got 3 rounds left. 3 rounds left in that lane. So Town Portal scroll out, that's the only play.
this turn both
And there it is.
players will have 1 tower apiece.
Yes, and understanding that, the Pugnac goes home. Yeah, now after sitting, the Chen is like, you know what? Now I can go to the middle lane.
Yep.
Swing for
There's the blink.
39. Take that tower. And yeah, get ready. You can even spend your gold right now because that Reptile Convoy.
See, I would have, like I mentioned before, I would have preferred that convoy in the middle lane because then you can use the payday and suddenly you're representing lethal on the board. But the Thunderhide pack is just as good, just not quite as much damage. But at least it's got siege damage, that's the main thing. So now the challenger is in a lot of trouble. She needs to pick up items, so maybe the phase boots will keep her alive because that will let her manipulate the battlefield. She's won the first lane. And it's unfortunate she didn't get TP scroll, but I think it's all going to come down to this last
And the
round.
payday is really not going to be a thing anymore.
No.
This late into the game.
So now what you do? I feel like you can't go all in on that first lane.
Yeah, I don't think there is enough damage with this deck.
There's no time of triumph.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, there's no, like Assault Ladder, for example.
Right.
So the only play for her is to go all in the middle lane. Middle lane, middle lane, middle lane. You got to do it now. You got to do it.
Not even in the color, so.
Slacks knows the Rix needs to go in the middle. Hopefully she picks up that it needs to go in the middle.
Good that there's no black improvement
Good
in the
deduction.
red-green.
Yeah, good deduction there.
There it is.
The question is, do you put 1 or 2 heroes?
Oh.
Wow, that's interesting. Feeling that she has to commit at least 1 hero in that last lane because otherwise her throne might be exposed. I mean, there is 40 damage to the tower.
Correct.
So, not the
It's
craziest
still 40
of
damage.
blocks.
You're not going to block
Although
enough.
I'm not sure how much a single Pugna
Yep, exactly.
would accomplish. Netherwood's
Do you have the
great
jewel
here.
though?
Just chuck that thing on the mid lane, and
Yes.
that could pressure quite a bit.
Yes, and save that duel for that middle lane.
Yeah. Or she could just keep priority.
She
Why?
puts Netherwood in this lane.
Yep.
I think she's panicking a little here. She played really well at the start, but you got to keep in mind that when you're up on stage, you've got hundreds of people watching you. You're under a lot of pressure. So, and this is brand new. This is a brand new game for the Challenger. None of us had the opportunity to play it before this. So all these, don't blame them for all these kind of misplays, but playing that Nether Ward there gave up priority for her, right? And it gave up initiative. And I think she needed the initiative in the second lane, because then she would have been able to use a duel, potentially pick off the Chen. She can still do that, but that would have saved the Thunderhide pack coming out, or the miss. I think so. I think, right, because he's got. We'll be able to see when we move over into that lane, but I think initiative would have been more preferable than putting down that, which there's nothing in this lane. There's no hero in this lane. So putting down that Nether Ward is pointless, because no spells are coming out and there's not enough damage coming out to threaten it, and to threaten needing to put a hero there.
I think, again, we talked about that, like being able to cast improvements in different lanes.
Yeah.
Something that people sometimes overlook, and it's so important
It is.
in these type of games.
She should have put it in the other lane if she was going to cast it.
Okay, big hit in. Suraction Slack chooses to not cast that Potion of Knowledge, finding that priority is more important here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a Thunderhide.
There's a Thunderhide. Now, see, if she had initiative, she would have been able to duel the Chen. She would have been able to duel the Rix. She would have been able to duel the Debbie. She would have been able to duel the Phantom Assassin. Either, like, a Phantom Assassin would have been the best target, obviously, but that would have prevented all this damage coming out.
Thunderhide is just threatening 14 to the tower. Still not enough to destroy, because everything else is getting blocked.
Actually,
PA attacking the Lycan.
Suraction Slack's got a little unlucky with how Phantom Assassin is attacking there. But you don't know what's going to happen.
Debbie, Chen.
You don't know what's in
One of
her
them,
hand.
Rix,
So
who came back, is just being encountered by a creep. Fortunately for Rix, because of that bonus from Miss of Awareness, he has enough damage to kill the creep after this.
Okay.
There's some equipment coming in, and yeah, we can see a Poised Strike here.
Yeah.
Or we can see a duel here. We can see both.
Duel and Poised Strike for 12 is a very... Oh no, it's going to be dueling the PA here. Ooh.
This is a hard one.
Okay. That means now Legion Commander will die after this, and Steam Cannon will clean it out. In fact...
So that was interesting play, I think, because that's actually cost her quite a bit. Because the Legion Commander was attacking the Lycan, she probably should have left that. After seeing the arrow, because it's very small right now. I don't know why they're not zooming in, but after seeing that arrow, I think the best target would have been that Rix. Getting rid of that Rix means you got that creep that lives, and also then you've got, I know it's a hard one because Rix can just be redeployed, but then you've got more on this board being protected, right? That's kind of what you want to do. You kind of just don't want to take damage here, because taking 25 means she's dead next round. Steam Cannon is a thing.
I think that just gave lethal.
Just gave lethal, because with that and the poaching knife,
yes,
will be enough.
He's got a poaching knife.
27. Now Slacks is thinking too much.
Nope, Slacks just missed lethal.
No, he didn't. You can see his face. This is what Slacks does. He kind of just like lets challengers have like another round, and he'll like kill his own units and muck around like that. You can tell he knows that he had lethal. He just didn't play it.
Oh no, Slacks, what are you doing?
That's okay.
Yeah, sure, he's still fine.
He's laughing to himself. So
okay, Poised to Strike. I think that's kind of like considering that, yeah, I know that you could have won that game right there. So I'm just giving my card. I'm playing some stuff. Slacks wants to play his second Miss of Awareness.
Actually,
so
that Poised to Strike might give...
The Challenger played really, really well. There's not much you can do now. She's pretty much
She's
over.
so short, about 30 damage.
But it's funny because the last game that I did this for, the Challenger misplayed quite a lot, but came back with one play. And I feel like this was the opposite.
I do want to say that
the Challenger played really well, but lost the game with one play. It's funny how this game is like that. Like it's really skill-based. You know, some plays are more valuable than others. And now she played really, really, really well, but not putting her Pugna mid And putting the Pugna to the third lane showed that she didn't understand how valuable that lane was, how valuable winning that lane was. And I think without the kind of experience in this game, that's the kind of plays that will lose you the game. And it's hard to know. It's hard to know when you're playing because there's so much going on. There's 3 lanes you got to worry about. There's all the items that you got to worry about. There's all the spells you got to worry about, the minions, the improvements that are on the board, when things are respawning, when abilities are coming off cooldown, what your opponent has bought, keeping track of their goal, keeping track of their hand. There's a lot going on. And you can't blame someone for putting, for one turn, just one turn, putting a hero in a lane. That is not exactly the most preferable. And that one turn costs her the game. If she put it in the middle lane, I feel like she would have actually stabilized and secured it. But unfortunately, that plus misusing the jewel, I think, as well, using that jewel in that weird situation and having the Ricks respawn and not keeping it tied up is what cost her the game there. So let's let it play out.
The most common mistake I've seen a lot of players make is hero deployment.
Hero deployment.
Which isn't to say that I don't make these mistakes at all. I still make them every day when I play Artifact. It is one of the most difficult part of this game, and it's always very elusive. It's like making a decision on a fine edge.
Yeah, it's also a fantastic topic of discussion.
Yeah.
I think watching replays of games, I've had a lot of times where I sit with my friends like, well, what happened here? What could have been done differently? And you can talk for 15 minutes about a single hero deployment every time.
And they're spot on. That's exactly what I just said. It's all about hero deployment here in this game. That's what lost her the game.
Again, with the siege from Thunderhide
There
Alpha,
is
there's nothing that can be done
there's
to
nothing.
stop that. Even if there was something that could be played, for example, that...
she doesn't realize the siege goes through regardless.
No accident clunk.
Nonk.
Deals actual 0 damage.
0 damage.
Literally no damage.
And this is it.
He's like, okay, I'm gonna pass. And with that, another no accident.
It does have a fantastic sound and animation, in my opinion.
It really does. Equipping a Blade of Vigil. Oh, hitting your own Debbie. What are you doing, Slacks?
I thought you were
It's been Debbie's boyfriend.
Yes.
You've killed her twice now.
Is this what we call tough love?
Oh.
And there it is.
Right.
Oh. Slacks won, and congratulations.
Wow. Challenge had some fun, that's good.
Really from Seattle, yeah.
Slacks is 100%.
Give me the mic. Come here.
Okay, let's just see what she says.
Hi. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, how was that game?
That was intense.
What happened?
I think I put too much in it once and then kind of puttered out.
So is this your first time playing Artifact? I think you played yesterday and you finished in line and then you came here today to play again?
I'm sorry, what?
Is this your first time playing Artifact?
This weekend? Yeah.
Yes. So how did it go for you during the rest of the day? Like, you played other people?
Yeah.
You won?
Yeah.
Yeah. So which one was your favorite deck?
Oh, man. This one.
This one? Okay. Would you play again a rematch against Slacks? Do you think you would beat him if you play again?
Yeah.
Okay. That's great. Well, Slacks?
Yeah. Well, I think she kind of understood what happened there. And it's actually when you're trying to talk to them on stage, it's very hard to hear them. I had the same problem. Like they're talking in their mic, but for some reason there's some like void there where you like struggle to hear what they say. So I don't blame her there. But anyway, the recap of the game was she made all the right moves, I feel like at the start, or mostly at the start. But it came down to Slacks getting a little bit of luck. Actually, no, that's a lie. He didn't really get that lucky. I think it was just simply, and I just kind of want to save her face, but I feel like it's just that one play of deploying the Pugna in the wrong lane. That's what cost her the game there. And if she put that in the right lane, she used the ability, got rid of the Mist of Avernus, used her spells correctly in that lane, she would have won. But it's funny because sometimes you can simply just lose from one play. And like we saw in the game I analyzed before, there was the opposite syndrome. And I just went through this, that he made all these mistakes, but then did the one play, and then that one play won them the game. So this it's all about the plays you make versus the luck you get, I think. And there's not much luck in Artifact, and the little that does apply doesn't really determine the game here. So very well played by the challenger. She did really well, and well done to Slax for giving her an extra turn there, giving her an extra round when he had lethal. But anyway, let's move on to the next game.